Warning, we are about to spoil Scream 3. If you haven't seen the movie and you plan on watching it, leave now and come back later. But if you have seen it, or you just don't care, then please, stick around. Alright, let's do the opening joke.
Oh, no, hold on. Sorry.
Hmm?
There's been another rewrite.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Hello, Sidney.
Oh, nope. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Another rewrite.
This one says just die.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cinema Roulette.
Actually, there's been a rewrite to the opening.
God damn it!
Yes, hello, and welcome back to the series wheel. Also, we're technically recording on my birthday, which would have been more ironic if we covered the next movie in this series, but we're not.
Nope. Yeah, we are on the third movie in a series. Is there any other banter you want to get into? I can't really think of much.
Nothing that wouldn't give away what the movie is.
That is true. But yeah, if we were to give it away, I would probably say the title here, but there's been another rewrite, so I'm just going to say Scream 3. Ah, that silence.
That's silence. That's right, we are back with Scream 3. Oh, now I remember what the opening joke was going to be.
Hey! Well, it's okay. Too
We were
late now.
We were going to say, hey, well, at least this isn't the worst one in the series anymore.
That's right, yeah.
That was it.
That was it. But hey, we will get around to talking about the worst movie in the series eventually.
Oh, yeah, we will. Not that it's going to get a full episode.
No.
Fuck that.
We're just going to reference it.
But
Yeah.
we will eventually talk about it at the end of this series.
Yep.
We are, yes, Scream 3. And I'm just going to say right out the gate, I tried to go into this with a more open mind. It's been a couple of years. Maybe I was wanting it to be less campy than it was, so let's go in with more of a silly mindset. It's still real bad.
Still, honestly, does not work. Even as just a fun, campy movie, just does not work.
Even trying not to compare it to the other movies, it's a very boring slasher.
It is. It's really unfortunate. Because it has one of the best scares in the series.
It really does, and we'll get to that. It also has funny dialogue. There is still good moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scream 3 is it was the black sheep of the series.
Yeah, at least it's the black sheep out of all the ones Wes Craven directed.
And even a little bit after.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Just a touch.
I still don't know if I dislike Scream 5 more than this one.
I don't either. Yeah, it'd be a hard debate in my mind.
I'll be able to decide better when we have to watch it for the wheel.
Yeah.
But for now, let's get into the synopsis of this thing.
Hooray!
So, we open in LA with Khan from the last movie. Remember him? He saved Sidney.
Yeah.
From Billy's mother. Anyway. Yeah, Khan's driving and stuck in LA traffic. But he gets a random phone call. Also, he now hosts a reality TV show called 100% Khan. But the girl on the phone says, "Oops, I have the wrong number, but you sound familiar. Are you Khan Weary?"
My God.
And of course, because this is a real thing that would totally happen even in, I think this movie came out in 2000?
2000, yep.
So we covered two movies back to back in 2000. Weird.
Huh.
But yeah, totally a thing that would just happen in 2000 if I point out every little logic jump and little itty bitty nitpick plot hole will be here all week.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to stop us later, but yeah, the summary. This person's talking all, the girl's talking all sexy to him, but then it turns into the ghost face voice. And the ghost face is right outside of Khan's girlfriend's shower. It's gonna kill her. Cut to the shower scene in with Khan's girlfriend, who I will just call Khan's girlfriend because she ain't gonna be in this movie long enough to care.
No.
But she gets attacked by Ghostface after getting changed out of the shower, runs into a room and slams the door. However, the voice she hears is Cotton's, as he says it was just a prank. And he yells that he just wants to rip her goddamn insides out.
Like you do.
You know, normal straight relationship.
Yep.
She is luckily locked in the room and pretty safe. Khan somehow speeds through gridlock traffic to get home. He comes in, grabs a fire poker, breaks down the door, and all of a sudden his girlfriend jumps out of the closet swinging a golf club, thinking, of course, he's the killer because she heard his voice. He just took the time to go and change, I guess.
Yeah.
A little Shining reference here, some arguing there. Girlfriend hits him with a golf club in the face right before Ghostface attacks her, and then Ghostface stabs the shit out of Khan. We cut over to Sidney. Sidney is also living in Hollywood, but she is very what's the term? Recluse?
Reclusive? Yeah.
Yes. She has become very reclusive. She's in a house with like several different locks, a guard dog, and works under a fake name on a woman's helpline, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, still wants to help people. Good for her.
Yeah.
But clearly traumatized after almost being murdered twice. We cut over to the set of Stab 3. That's right, they're making a third Stab movie.
Mm-hmm.
Gail is also in LA because, well, she was told about Cotton's death and the cops kind of interviewed her like, hey, do you know anything that would be going on? No, but I can help with the investigation. So she goes to set with a secret camera in her purse because Gail loves her secret cameras.
Yep.
Dewey is on set. He's a technical advisor, I think was his role.
I think so.
Because they're kind of redoing the first movie. I don't care what Stab's plot is.
Yeah. I don't think in the movie they care what Stab's plot is.
Well, they kind of talk about it so that way we can talk meta horror. We also meet the future dead bodies of this movie.
Yep.
Just a few to name. There's Sarah. There's Tyson, who is commentary on Randy being killed in the last movie, and Jennifer, who's playing Sidney. I forget the name of the actress who is playing Gail in Stab.
Hold on.
Editing is weird. Let me say that again. Meatbags are Sarah, Tyson, Jennifer, Angela, and fucking damn it, who played Dewey?
The actual actor's name?
No, the actor who's playing Dewey in the, I think it's Wallace.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay, and Wallace. Either way, these are meatbags who are gonna die in a few hours. Well, except Jennifer. Did Jennifer make it, or did she get? No, she gets killed later. Never mind. Either way, we meet the meatbags. Dewey and Gail have broken up between movies again. Dewey goes up to Gail and is like, "Hey, I need you to fucking go. You're not needed here. You also clearly have a camera on you. I literally bought you that purse." Okay. We also see because everyone's on the cast of Stab, Khan was going to be in that movie. And the cast is together like, shit, do we have to stop the movie? It's like, maybe. Also, here's Roman. He's the director. He's literally introduced to us with his back to the camera. A great way to introduce a character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've set up those people. Back to Sidney. She's talking with her dad, and her dad's like, "You really just feel like you don't exist anymore. You're so out here with no one around." And she's like, "Yeah, that's kind of the point. Psychos can't find me then, Dad." Anyway, I think that's the last time we see him in the series. So bye.
See ya.
Then we have, admittedly, the creepiest scene of the movie and possibly the series, where Sidney falls asleep in her front room on the couch, and we see her mother in like a long gown walking up to her window and then peering in before basically calling her a failure who's going to end up just like her and slowly slipping into the darkness. And then Ghostface appears and scares her.
Rah!
I know, we'll talk about that scene more later. It's honestly really well done and always
It
creepy
is.
to me.
Oh yeah, the vibes just.
Really good tone there. Also, it felt kind of Evil Dead with the camera work.
It did a little bit, honestly.
I'm also happy they actually got the actress who they used as the photo of Sidney's mom in the first movie.
Always a very nice touch.
The only nicer cameo we could possibly have is if like Carrie Fisher was in this for some reason.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, hey! But we'll get to her in a minute. First, we need to cut back to Sarah, who the director Roman called into his office to read over a new rewrite of the script. Everyone, of course, also leaves the office, leaving her there alone, and she thinks Roman isn't there, but luckily he's over the phone, and he's like, just read a couple of lines, stop being so worried, and stop being mad that you're in a scene where you have to have your tits out for no reason.
As you do in horror movies.
Except the Scream series. Hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
Actually, the shower scene in this one, I think, is the most nudity we have in the entire Scream series.
I think so. I think you're right, yeah.
They're going over lines, and all of a sudden it changes into Ghostface voice. I should also say, in Khan's death, we saw that Ghostface has a voice changer. We'll talk about that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to how fucking dumb that is. You know what would be dumber?
What?
If Ghostface, like, used AI video in order to trick Sidney at some point.
Goodness.
That would be such a terrible writing decision.
Wouldn't it, though?
Anyway. I like giving subtle criticism. But suddenly, Roman's voice turns into the Ghostface voice. And Sarah tries to run out of the office, but sees someone coming to the door. Assuming it's Ghostface, she runs to hide elsewhere in the office. Sadly, that turned out to be a security guard who doesn't hear her or announce that, like, hey, anyone here? So she's in the back room with all the costumes, and of course the killer is hiding with all of the costumes.
Of course.
That is also a cool shot. Another little point to the movie.
Yeah.
She gets chased around. She keeps trying to fight back, but it's all prop weapons, which, again, good bit.
Yeah.
But Ghostface eventually stabs the shit out of her, and when the cops find her dead, it's like, well, we're going to have to definitely shut down production. It seems the killer is going based off the script of who dies. And next is Gail, which they're also kind of confused if that means the actress who is playing Gail in the movie or actual Gail because she's here. However, oopsie poopsie, that's not true. Because Dewey has been staying with Angela and her bodyguard, who's played by Patrick Warburton. His name is Steven Stone, which is an awesome name.
Pretty rad name.
But we go back to Angela's house, and it turns out the script has been rewritten so many times that there's at least 3 copies with different order of people being killed, so we don't know who the killer will be after next. Thus, we don't have to pay attention to his plot point anymore. Goodbye.
See ya.
Later plot point.
Mm.
Sid, still not really part of the movie, is in her house and gets a call on her helpline. But then it sounds like her mother, and she realizes the call is coming from the house or to her house.
Yeah.
We also, I forget exactly where this was. This is my own problem with note taking, but Dewey does mention that he's been trying to keep Sid hidden, and someone tried to break into the police station back in Woodsboro to find where she went.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, Dewey was like questioned on those files and hid them somewhere else before the break in.
Mm-hmm.
Dewey being a smart boy. Good Dewey.
Yeah. Such a good detective.
Anyway, back with the actors. Everyone's throwing in the towel because shit's shut down, and Gail is snooping, but overhears Dewey talking about her, and it's like, Gail, she's actually a pretty wonderful person, and also kind of a total bitch. But Stone finds her, brings her inside. Stone also, while doing rounds, goes into the trailer that Dewey's living in the backyard in, and then Ghostface kills him. The the people inside the house, I forget why. Oh, because the killer keeps leaving headshots of Sidney's mother at the murders, so they know it's connected somehow, and they know Sidney's mother disappeared for 2 years in the 70s to come to Hollywood, but they don't know much else about it. However, they realize in the headshot it is taken on the same exact lot as the actress Dewey is protecting. So it's like, oh, they were all at Sunrise Studios. But then they get a bit jumpy because the power goes out. Stone lives long enough after being stabbed in the back multiple times to be like, I'm dying, and then falls over. All the actors that are there are in a panic. Dewey and Gail are in a panic. They try to run outside, but
Are you guys interested? Does this all sound interesting to you?
no, it's because this is one of the dumbest goddamn scenes.
It is.
Ghostface faxes them some of the script, so they run inside and they read it, and it's describing exactly what's happening. Dewey, who has a gun, gets the obvious idea of, hey, let's run in the backyard where there's like lights and open space so we can see if a killer is coming. But they hear the fax come again, and Wallace is like, oh, I need to know what it says. So he runs inside, but the flashlight they had seconds ago doesn't exist anymore. So instead of running outside with the group where there's a bunch of light, as we can see with our eyes as the audience, he goes into the kitchen because through the fax, Ghostface is also saying like, "Oh, I'll let one of you live," and then Wallace pulls out a lighter to read the script, and it's the first person who smells the gas, and then the whole house blows up.
Oh my god!
Everyone's then falling down a mountain. Gale is almost attacked by Ghostface. Luckily, Dewey is an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Saves Gale. The actress he's supposed to be protecting is kind of pissed that he saved Gale instead of her, even though they all randomly tumbled down the mountain.
Yeah, how dare you?
Also, sorry, backtracking. He is protecting Jennifer, not Abigail.
Oh,
or Angela. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Abigail is a movie made by the people who made Scream 5 and 6.
Ah.
Fun movie. It's a lot more fun if you don't watch the trailer, though.
Oh, one of those ones that spoils everything?
Well, like the movie clearly wanted to be a twist at the end of Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
But the trailer gives it away, so it's not a twist.
That's stupid. Also, cut this out, so it's kind of like Companion.
Kind of like Companion, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the movie Abigail?
No.
Sick. Go in with that mindset. It's honestly a pretty fun horror comedy.
All right.
I don't know if you'd be able to watch it without reading what it's about or something. I don't know. That's for another time.
That's a problem for future me.
I hate the fact that this summary is going to be longer than the last 3 episodes we've done.
Yeah.
Uh,
Happy
that's what
birthday.
happens. Happy birthday! But yeah, that dude's dead. I will say there was a funny line where he's talking about how uh, Angela is a bitch, and Jennifer just goes, "She said no to sleeping with you, didn't she? That doesn't matter, okay?" But so after all this, everyone goes to the cops because the house blew up,
Yeah, not really gonna be incognito that way. People are gonna know.
and there's a detective. His name is Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
Ah,
And he's like, Dewey, I need you to get Sidney in here. She is clearly involved in some capacity, okay? He's like, I don't want to give away her anonymity. Well, luckily, Sidney just walks in. So Sidney's here. Sidney's in the movie, guys.
my God.
Yay, Sidney.
Woo.
Anyway, she's going to be in this police station for a bit. We get a cameo from Randy because Randy's never mentioned sister is on set and meets up with everyone. It's like, hey, Randy made this video for you. Randy sets out the rules for a trilogy since it's supposed to be the end of the series. No one is safe. The killer is harder to kill. Good luck.
Also, quick fun fact about his cameo is that because I don't know how to work this in later. Apparently, there was like 2 hours of footage shot for his cameo.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently, he was supposed to have a larger role, and they were like, nah.
What, were they just gonna keep turning on the video every once in a while? Like, oh shit, what's going on? What will happen next, Randy?
I don't know. That's just funny to me. I'm like, well, what did you need all that footage for?
Sorry, now I'm imagining a situation where it's like the Doctor Who episode Blank.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to keep talking with the video, and he somehow knew what they were going to say.
Wait a minute, if this is pre-recorded, how'd you know what you're gonna say? I'm a Time Lord.
Actually, sorry, Sidney is not stuck in the police station yet. She was on set to watch the Randy video, and then she goes on to the actual set, which is both her house from the first movie and Stu's house, like right across from each other. She has a nice little bit of drama as she walks through and sees the bloody crime scene, which, why for a third movie are all the kills still set up like the first one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did someone die by the doggy door again? In case this is boring for you, audience, don't worry, my dog is asleep too. She's just being such a cute baby. But while Sid is on set, Ghostface attacks. We get kind of a retread of the chase from the first movie, except instead of throwing just a vase down, she pushes a whole supply cart down at Ghostface.
Yeah. It's probably what they were making fun of in Stab when she just kept throwing everything down the stairs.
You mean Scary Movie?
Or Scary Movie, yeah.
Yeah. She eventually does escape Ghostface, who also due to the weird logistics of the set, she runs into a room that's recreated to look like her mother's murder scene, and Ghostface assumedly is under a sheet of where her mother's corpse would be and kind of taunts her in her mother's voice. Luckily, Sidney, being hardened after the last two movies, runs away and calls for Dewey's help, and Dewey shows up. The cops show up. Of course, Ghostface is gone. We see a bunch of red herrings. It does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cut back to Gail and Gail. So Gail and Jennifer. But they go sleuthing around the studio because, again, they know Sidney's mother was here. She was under a fake name. And they go into the film archives where we see Carrie Fisher, who's actually named Bianca. Says a little anecdote about how she was going to be Princess Leia, but she wasn't willing to sleep with George Lucas, so she didn't get the role. That is actually a theme in this movie of talking about how predatory Hollywood is to
Yeah.
women, and
Yep.
we'll we'll cover that a bit more
Mm-hmm.
because like it's not a bad topic, but it's just it could have been done in a better movie.
Yep.
Anyway, but they eventually find out that the head of the studio gave the only three roles that Sidney's mother ever had, which were for like cheapo horror movies.
Yeah. Was that head was the father supposed to be or the head of the studio, was that supposed to be Roman's father, right?
No,
Yeah, John Milton I thought was Roman's father. He was like the head of the studio.
no, they're not father and son because his name's Roman Bridger.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. I just thought they were related somehow. Guess I misremembered.
Oh, also, there was a Jay and Silent Bob cameo. The guy holding the camera is Wes Craven,
Nice.
like the tourist walking behind them.
Okay, that's cool.
Fun little cameo.
Yeah, a lot of little cameos in this.
I mean, that's what you do when you're in Hollywood. Everyone's around, so you can just get cameos.
Yeah. But I didn't know that the guy who played John Milton was actually Lance Henriksen. Good job with the makeup. I didn't even recognize him.
Oh, yeah. Man, if only we could cover him in another horror series.
I know,
Anyway,
right? Thanks, Wheel.
thanks, Wheel. Well, technically, we pulled it off, too.
Yeah, well. It was an executive decision.
It was. Just to get through this fucking wheel we've been on for like 5 years. And then when we decide on for future wheels, of course, make it 32.
Yep.
Or more. Anyway. How many times have I said anyway this episode? But Sid's back at the police station talking with Mark, and Mark is like, yeah, I have a lot of trauma too because I've had to kill people as a cop. And so he's like, yeah, trauma sucks. It does suck. Anyway, Dewey, Gail, and Jennifer all go to meet with the producer, whose name is John. And they interrogate him, and John basically says, yeah, okay, she didn't want to play the Hollywood game of having to sleep with someone in order to get more roles, so she left.
Mm-hmm.
They also assume John is kind of the killer because, I mean, he's literally making money off the death of the actress he abused.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're all going to John's house because, well, Gail and Dewey get a call from Totally Sidney, who says she's going there. Everyone, all the other living actors are going there because it's Roman's birthday, so they're going there to celebrate. However, while they're in the house, everyone splits up. Dewey and Gail find in a closet the Ghostface costume and voice changer, which they just leave there. Yeah, that was smart of you.
Mm-hmm.
I know so far you've been used to there always being two killers, but like that takes one out of the game at least.
Exactly.
But everyone splits up and people start dying. Gail eventually goes down in the basement and finds Roman dead and checks his pulse to make sure. But Jennifer pops out and they're like, yep, he's dead. Let's fucking go. Gail's attacked. Dewey's attacked. Dyson's also dead. He died at some point. I don't care anymore. We're almost at the end here. Angela. I keep wanting to say Abigail. Angela also runs away from the group. She dies. Everyone is dying. Mark disappeared at some point to look into things. Sid is bored at the police station, and then she gets a phone call, and Ghostface is like, hey, we're having a party. Come over here and get us.
Everyone's invited.
Everyone's invited. So I'm pretty sure that was an exact quote.
Yes.
Sidney grabs a gun from the cop's desk because that's legal. And then she goes to the party. However, Ghostface is smarter than this. And there's a little metal detector wand, and she puts it over her entire body. It beeps at the gun, so she tosses it in the pool. Actually, fun fact: this final area is also what was dressed up to be the school in Halloween 2.0.
Oh, nice.
Or not 2.0. What was it? H2O.
H2O. Nice.
Yeah, if you watch the movies back to back, the pool is covered by flowers, but you can clearly see everything else is the same.
Oh, that's cool.
But yep, Sidney has now been disarmed and has to walk into the house where Dewey and Gale are tied up, and Ghostface shows up. And then Sidney pulls another gun. Yeah, she just had two in her shoe. Which, honestly, that's really smart.
Mm-hmm.
That gun was set up earlier as well. She had it at her house.
Yeah.
So, Mark also shows up, but luckily he's not a Ghostface killer. He attacks Ghostface, so he's a good guy. But he does get stabbed, so he's kind of out of the fight for the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot to mention at some point, fuck, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with names. Jennifer. Jennifer was chased by Ghostface, but there's also like secret doors in this house. She ended up behind a glass mirror. Dewey tried to save her, but she got stabbed before he could. That's how she died a bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
Dewey and Gale are being untied. Sidney goes to chase down Ghostface and finds the secret theater where a lot of bad sex things happened. And finally, we get our killer reveal. It's Roman!
My God.
Weren't you dead?
Nope.
No, he got better. Okay. But Roman isn't actually Roman. He's Sidney's brother. Well, step brother or half brother, however you want to put it.
Some shit like that. Her long lost brother.
Her long lost brother. I dropped a coin. I apologize. But yes, this is Sidney's long lost brother, and turns out when her mother was busy having sex, she had an extra child, and then he came to her and she turned him away. So then he went and shot footage of her having affairs, including with Billy's dad, and then showed the film to Billy, which inspired him and Stu to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum, bum. Anyway, fighting. We kill Roman. We kill Roman. There's some love interest things going on with Mark. We cut to a few days later. Sidney's at home with Dewey and Gale and Mark, and they're all going to watch a movie. But this time she leaves her gate open and her door wide open because she is complete. Her journey is over and the series is done.
For now.
Anyway, on to the other three.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. But yeah, that was Scream 3.
That was Scream 3. Where do we start with this one?
Jesus. I mean, the positive definitely outweighs the negative. I'm just debating whether to start with that or end with that.
I think you mean the other way around.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Thanks.
Good job.
Shit.
There's no way to end this on a high note. Let's start with the good, and then we'll go into tearing it to bits.
Let's do that, because there are sections of this movie that are good, and there are a couple of good ideas here, especially considering how hectic the production was. But at the same time, it just mostly falls flat. Yeah, let's start with the best one in the movie, the window scene.
Okay, yeah, the mother scene with Sidney. It's one of the few scenes, because Scream is very much about the chases and the back and forth phone conversations. So this is one of the few moments where it actually slows down and you really get to breathe in that atmosphere. And honestly, this is just like irrational fear of my own. Someone peeking in the window is fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, it's always terrifying. Like, because like the other movies were so good at balancing like the corny stuff with the horror stuff for the most part. Like two wasn't as good as I remembered it, but still at least it had a consistent tone. Here, this is like one of the few scenes in the movie where it feels like, you know, an actual horror movie.
Yeah, and just the lighting on Sidney's mother and her pressed against the
Yeah,
glass. It's honestly just a really good scare.
it really is. Yeah.
It also really sets in the trauma that Sidney is feeling up to this point, which yes is mentioned vocally multiple times, but this is the only time it's shown.
Yeah, exactly. So, show don't tell. It's an absolute highlight in an otherwise very mediocre movie.
I mean, scenes with Sidney are still
Yeah,
good. It's Sidney.
it's Sidney. I mean, the characters are still very well written. Yeah, and like you said, like during the end there, where they're like on set and he's hiding in there, and then they're fighting with the prop weapons. There's just some really nice touches in the movie.
I I do like the death scene of Sarah just because she like swings a big sword at Ghostface and you see it immediately bend, or she tries to grab a knife off the table and starts wobbling around because
Yep.
it's rubber.
Yep.
It's a good bit. It has fun with the setting it's in.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the chase with Sidney through the two sets. One,
Yeah.
it is somewhat good fan service of seeing those houses again, but also there's a fun mix of callback and new.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Sydney runs to her room, but the room isn't actually there, so it's a big open door and she throws Ghostface through it basically.
Yep. Yeah, and fun fact, he apparently did have to rebuild all those sets. Like the exteriors were the houses, but I think he actually legit had to rebuild them because he knew he was going to revisit them at some point. He just didn't know how. Because the
Fair
script was
enough.
so like constantly being changed.
He- Hold on, before we get there, is there any other good to this?
I don't know, I mean, again, all the actors do a good job with what they're given. All the characters feel the same, so I'll at least give the movie that. We're still following the same characters. They don't seem dumbed down in any way.
Sydney's a little dumbed down with how often she's calling for Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, besides that, Gail is still Gail. Dewey is even smarter than before, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Dewey has one of the best arcs in the whole series where he just eventually becomes super smart.
And even though they are just meatbags, the people who are playing the other actors, they still get a good couple of lines. They're not too, I mean, they're two-dimensional, but not in a too bad of a way for a slasher.
Yeah, exactly. Like these are the actors that are playing the characters in the movie. It's not like a huge role, but they all do a really good job.
Okay. Also, I enjoyed the soundtrack of it. It's a very
Oh yeah.
corny horror soundtrack.
Yeah, there are a lot of like really corny stings. Yeah, yeah, we'll get that out of the way too, because it was just nice hearing classic stings like that again. Kind of, I think for both of us.
It's just movies don't sound like that too often anymore, so it's just kind of fun. It allowed the tone to stay light for this movie.
Yeah, exactly. The music does a really good job of balancing out like the holes in the movie.
At least there isn't that repeating, unfitting theme they had in 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the music is definitely better in this movie than 2. I will give it that. But yes, the negative, which sadly outweighs the positive.
By a large margin. I will give what the excuse is for a lot of this being bad.
Yeah.
So, Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original Scream, he did write a version of Scream 3. However, he was still working on Dawson's Creek. He had another TV show that was in the works. I think he was working on The Faculty or The Facility. He basically had too much on his plate at the time. He could not come back for this one. So they got someone to rewrite it. However, things kept leaking online, just like 2, so there were rewrites after rewrites, which Sarah's line, yelling at not, well, technically yelling at Ronan either way, about how there's so many rewrites, was literally meta about the movie that was currently being made.
Yeah, it was apparently like infuriating. And yeah, that was one of the main reasons that they kept rewriting, or is because it kept leaking. But another reason is that there was a lot more scrutiny on the production because something happened between the movies called the Columbine High School Massacre.
Yeah.
And in the aftermath, like, a lot of people like were looking for something to blame, and the production of Scream 3 was not actually yet underway when that happened, and they were honestly considering about whether or not they should even make the movie, but they decided to push ahead anyway.
I I will say with Kevin Williamson's original script, they did plan on having Stu come back and get a bunch of high schoolers to also be killers. But yeah, that stopped being fun after Combine.
Yeah. And something else that's also interesting on that as well, the studio remained much more apprehensive concerning violence and gore than with previous installments. And at one point, the studio even went as far as demanding the film feature no blood or on-screen violence at all, a drastic departure for the series. But Craven himself directly intervened. According to Kruger, Craven said, "Be serious, guys. Either we make a Scream movie or we make a movie and call it something else. But if it's a Scream movie, it's going to have certain standards."
Yeah, and this isn't even that bloody of a Scream movie. Most of the kills were just stabbings.
It's not. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I did forget to mention, Ronan's plan was to use the voice changer thing. He recorded something of Sidney basically admitting to the murders and then killed the main producer, and then she was going to be framed, and he was going to kill her and be the lone survivor type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the reason Sidney is in this movie a lot, which is definitely a main criticism, she had a TV show that she was doing at the time, so that was a conflicting schedule. Also, she had longer hair in that show, so she's wearing a wig most of the time.
Yeah, Nev Campbell, right?
Yes, Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
I know, talking about hair, you want to talk about Gail.
Yes, I do. My God, her hair is distracting. Like, everyone makes fun of it. Everyone talks about it to death. So I'm just going to say, you know what? Yeah, all those criticisms, absolutely right.
The bangs look so bad.
They really do. And the thing that's really funny is that David Arquette actually himself pushed for the hair, and he thought it was going to look really good, but like it was one of the main criticisms of the movie. And one of the funniest things is he actually took to Twitter and directly apologized for it.
That's fair, dude.
Yeah.
They were married at the time, but that... Oh, also, Dewey popped the question at Gail in this movie, but spoilers, they're going to break up between movies.
I thought they were married at the beginning of Scream 4.
Were they? I thought they were going through divorce at that point.
I don't know. I forget. It's been... I haven't seen Scream 4 since opening night, so...
I was there opening night on my birthday, like today.
Nice.
Not today when the episode's released, when we're recording. But yeah, Gail's hair is distractingly bad at times.
My God. But yeah.
It's not helped, too, that Dewey actually has a really cool haircut and is always next to her.
Yeah, he looks really snazzy. Like... But, let's speak about that aforementioned voice changer because, my God.
I was going to say before we get to that, just you really feel the lack of Sidney, and I'm going to say it now. That's not a criticism I'm going to bring up for Scream 5 or 6. I did not mind how little Sidney was used in those. The new characters were great. Mm-hmm. But here, it's her story. It's about her mother and everything tying back to the original, and she's just not here most of the time.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing. Like...
Like, oh my God, it's Roman or Ronan, and Sidney had never met him up to this point. At least in 2, there was a reason for her not to see Miss Loomis because she would have recognized her.
Yeah.
But here it's like, oh, some guy.
My God. And it's really funny too because what was I about to say? Hold on. Yeah, she wasn't the only character that didn't really do much in the movie, at least initially, because production was so hectic that after 3 months after principal photography was wrapped, the ending was actually refilmed because Sidney defeats Roman really easily, and they wanted to extend that a bit. But a major addition to the finale was the presence of the character Mark Kincaid, who had previously been completely absent from the finale after production realized his character simply disappeared from the plot and his story arc went nowhere.
Yeah, they did. Oh, right. He does technically come in during the final battle
Yeah.
to bring in a pistol, but Roman knocks him down and then takes
Yep.
the pistol and shoots Sidney, but
Yeah.
she had a bulletproof vest. And ba, 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 ba.
He was apparently completely missing from the finale originally.
He didn't make much of a difference, let's be honest.
Didn't, but I just find it funny. So he'll just so much could have been done
Also,
better.
speaking of the ending, there was a change. I think I mentioned this in the Scream 2 episode, or we talked about it after. The thing I said where a big group of Ghostface kills Sidney, I cannot actually confirm that happened, and most likely was just an online rumor.
Yeah.
However, there was a different ending to this.
What was it?
Angela was originally going to also be a killer.
Huh. So they were originally going to stick with the two killers thing.
Yes, Angela was one of Sidney's classmates who got jealous of her fame. That's why she was so obsessed and played Sidney in the movie.
Okay.
Which technically they moved this over for a character in Scream 4 who's a red herring.
Yeah.
But also, hi Scream 7. Technically they bring this back. And guess what? Most people say the killer in that movie was fucking stupid.
Yep.
Except it wasn't even a classmate. Again, we'll talk about Scream 7 when we talk about Scream 6.
Yeah.
Because we're not watching that fucking movie.
No.
But yeah, there was a little bit of a different ending. Otherwise, everything is basically the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, the voice changer.
My God. So much stupidity around this thing.
Okay, so let's try to ignore the fact that there is probably no way it could have gotten Sidney's mother's voice since she had been dead long before that voice changer ever existed.
Yeah. And sorry, technology at the time was not at the point where you could replicate someone's voice. Like, just using
Technology now isn't even that good.
But like, back then, all you'd have really are, like, what, VHS home videotapes? Like...
Yeah, or Ronan's weird creeper footage.
Yeah. Like, how? No. Besides that, though...
Ignoring the fact this technology did not exist at the time and could hardly even exist now, how the fuck is he... Just for the opening kill alone with Khan and his girlfriend, how is Ghostface able to scream into a physical voice changer without the sound of his voice being over it?
Yeah. That's not how that works.
Not how any of this fucking works, and it's so stupid because even when Gail and Dewey find it, she talks into it and you can hear her talking.
Yeah, like I know you probably want the audience to suspend their disbelief a little bit, but you pushed it way too hard. There's like no way.
You put it in the movie of this thing not working.
Yeah, like what are we supposed to do with that? What was the thought process behind that? There was none, clearly.
Also, how the hell is Rowan using it after the chase with Sidney in the set and not panting?
I don't know. Good question.
It's like, if you think about this for even 2 seconds,
Yeah.
the thing becomes so annoying. And they don't even really use it properly. Like, it seems like a good way to set up red herrings, but they don't.
Yeah, you think you could play with it by just impersonating someone, or like you said, like that original idea with like him impersonating Sidney and admitting to something. There's so many other things you could do. But no, they just like do the cliche over and over again where it's like they're talking in someone's voice, but then it's Ghostface, and that's about it.
Then which Also, does that mean when Roman was calling Sarah, it was just him, and then he picked up the voice changer to be
I
scary?
think so. Yeah.
It's just a dumb. That is already a dumb twist, and the fact that it's a long lost brother that no one knew about
Oh
is
man,
also an insanely lame twist.
that's also really stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I get that it was supposed to be commentary on the whole like predatory thing in Hollywood because apparently he was born out of the affair that he had or something, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Speaking of
it's
which, that
just.
I wish that had a better. Well, sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, you can go with yours. I was going to go on other ways.
But I was gonna say, speaking of which, I wish that that was just done in a much better movie because I respect the kahunas of them talking about predatory Hollywood, but man,
Yeah, we're talking about predatory Hollywood while being produced by the Weinstein. So,
yeah, the level of
yeah.
the irony there just ugh.
The fact they were able to get away with it and they were demonizing it and talking
Yeah,
about how shitty it was for
yep,
actors and still
and
is.
still is. Yep.
Like, good on you, movie, for trying to talk about that.
Yes.
If only you had a script that mattered.
Honestly.
I think also the problem with that is yes, that ties back to Sidney's mother, but it doesn't feel like it comes together with Sidney.
Exactly. Like as for her character. Yeah.
She's not an actor. She's literally just living with a pretty normal
Yeah.
job.
Exactly.
Also, criticism to ourselves on talking longer about Scream 3 than In the Mood for Love or Ratcatcher.
Probably combined.
Probably combined. Again, sorry about that. We'll probably talk more about that in like the
Yeah.
anniversary episode stuff when we're reviewing the year in general.
Definitely.
Also, okay, since and I get it, Sydney wasn't in the movie as much because the actress was just busy, so we need Dewey and Gale to take over. I do not care that much about them.
Yeah. Their relationship always seemed kind of forced anyway, but
Which is funny because it's not. They
yeah,
literally fell in love with each other and got married.
exactly.
And actually, they technically divorced for the same reason they split up in these movies. They both had
Yeah.
different goals in life.
Yep.
They are still apparently very good parents to their daughter, though, like sharing
That's good.
time with her, and they're still friends, which just nice to hear in Hollywood.
That is really nice that it wasn't completely acrimonious.
But like, I don't mind that being a side plot. But we just did this sort of thing in the second movie.
Yep.
So now we're doing it again, but longer.
Yep. It's a little annoying.
Not to mention, it also doesn't tie into the whole thing about Sydney's mother or anything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of padding.
Exactly. So it just feels kind of pointless.
Oh, also, we already went over the fax kill, but I want to talk about it again just because are you fucking kidding me? You're in the house. They for the first bits of the script, they had a flashlight and look over it. Why not go back out there to the person who has a flashlight?
Because that would require thinking for more than 2 seconds.
Also, there's no way you could fill that entire house with gas without anyone smelling it.
Mm-hmm. I don't care what kind of gas you use.
I know that's more of a suspension of disbelief and nitpick thing,
Yeah.
but once a scene is annoying, it becomes very annoying very fast.
Exactly. If everything leading up to it's really annoying, we're not going to cut you as much slack. Like,
I was gonna mention. Oh, also, how the hell did Roman fake his death?
oh yeah, they never really do explain that, do they?
Like, at least in Scream 1, when Billy quote unquote dies in front of Sidney,
Yeah.
she has to run away immediately because
Yes.
someone's there with a knife.
Yeah, exactly, because there's another killer. Yep.
Gail checked his pulse, and it wasn't like, oh, she got interrupted while doing it. No, she holds it there for a second and pulls her hand away, like, yep, he's dead.
How did you do that?
Either Gail's an idiot or this dude is Chris Angel and learned how to slow down his pulse enough so no one could feel it. Fuck you.
Right, yeah. No,
I'm not believing this dweeb learned that.
No, they just used a certain medicine to take your heartbeat below a certain rate so it only looked like you were dead.
Anything else we got here?
I think that's about it. Just overall, just a mediocre
Is there a
film.
way to fix the movie?
I don't know. It's just one of those things where the circumstances under the script were just so compact and it was just constantly being rewritten, where it's like, what was your original intention here? Where do you want to go with this? It's kind of already such a hot mess that I feel like I can't really do much to fix it besides get rid of some of the more overtly stupid things.
Yeah, honestly, thinking about it, this is one of those cases where it's like, just throw out the script and start again, it feels like.
It really does.
Which is a real shame.
It is.
But before we're done with Scream, we do have to rate this movie like we do every movie with the same system we have always had.
Yes.
So, Cameron.
Justin?
With the normal grading system of a school paper, F to A, what would you rate this movie?
F to A. F being lowest, A being highest, right?
Of course.
Okay. I was just telling for our audience, in case it's their first time listening.
Yeah, I know some foreign countries don't really work on that sort of system for grading, so it makes sense.
Yes. But I'd honestly have to go... I'll go with a C minus.
I'm with you. Like, I honestly can't tell C minus or D plus.
Yeah, same.
I think it is still, like, we complained about it for most of this, but I think it's still watchable enough to be a C minus.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like D would be a bit too harsh. I feel like it's still at least enough watchability to it that if you're really getting...
It's still shot well enough.
Yeah. Still shot well enough, has some good moments, and if you're really curious, I wouldn't say don't watch it. Just don't expect it to be as good as the rest of them.
It's not unwatchable, but also you don't have to do it sober, basically.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for Scream 3.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we need to get on to the gimmick of the show. We are still on the series wheel. The series wheel is full of a bunch of series that we slowly go through. Every time it lands on one, we do whatever sequel is next.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize that with the director wheel, I could literally list the movies that's on there now if I wanted to do that.
Yeah, we're getting down to the wire there.
Yeah, that will be done this year at some point. I think before September, with timing.
Yeah, which is awesome.
It might be moved a bit more because we do have a Pride Month episode planned, and also we still have that top 10 action movies at some point.
Yeah.
But for now... Oh, wait, I didn't say. The series wheel is full of series that you know of, so that way when you see the episode, you can go, oh, wow, I know about that movie. My friend knows about that movie, and you can share it with them, and then we get more viewers to join the cult.
Yay.
All hail the wheel, which we have never gone against.
All hail.
All hail. Anyway, it is time to spin. Lupin the Third. God,
Fuck
please,
yeah.
Lupin, please, Lupin, be a good one.
Yes, please be good. So, yes, coming up next, we're reviewing Lupin the Third, Farewell to Nostradamus.
Is that the next one? Or because I thought I kept getting confused.
You did with Fuma Conspiracy.
That's it. Okay. Also, I just want to say, thank God.
Oh
We
yeah.
feel so tired. I was a bit excited to talk about Scream 3 just because it was a simpler movie than the last few.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we've been hitting a lot of stuff that feels very middling to us, so I'm really hoping for at least a 7 out of 10
Yeah.
type deal.
Yes. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Woo!
Stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time on Cinema Roulette.
Just cut yourself off at some point there.